Hi everybody, this is Joe Malarkey with another Secure CRC update. Phishing, vishing, smishing. Computer geeks love their goofy names, don't they? Well, in this post, we're going to explain them all. First of all, let's talk about what all these terms have in common and the general category that they fit into. All these terms refer to different types of social engineering. Now, social engineering is just a fancy word for fooling someone with psychological tricks. No, I'm not talking about Jedi mind tricks. Social engineering tricks are more subtle than that. It can be as simple as asking you a favor or warning you that someone might be trying to break into your account. You see, social engineering uses our normal human reaction and responses to get us to do something that we really shouldn't do. And it doesn't even have to be something that we perceive as a bad thing. For instance, you might get a message that someone has tried to break into your email account and that you should change your password right away. On its face, that doesn't seem like such a bad idea. You should change your password frequently anyway, right? How could it be a bad thing if you did it at someone else's pleading? Well, if you ended your communication with that person and then set out on your own to change your password using your usual methods, it wouldn't be a bad thing. The problem is that the person may provide you with a shortcut or a link that leads you to the password reset mechanism. Here's where things get dodgy. What if the shortcut actually leads you to a lookalike password reset mechanism, like a lookalike website, and it will look alike, and I mean exactly alike? Then you would be telling your password to that someone else. Social engineering takes on many forms, and tricking someone into divulging their passwords, well, that's only one of the schemes they use. But I digress. Let's get back to all those funny names. So what's phishing? Well, phishing, like its homophonic cousin, is casting a large net to see if any fish will take the bait. Email's the usual instrument, but it can take texting or other forms as well. Now, we've all seen these attacks. They usually come into our inbox with a salutation of valued customer or dear client. They're impersonal and almost always provide a call to action, like a button that we click on or something to download. Now, the link, if it's a button or a link, will usually lead to a website that asks the recipient to log into their account. The website will even look convincingly accurate, and many people are fooled into supplying the cyber thieves with their passwords. Another common call to action is a file that you should download and review. Well, that file may purport to be an invoice or a contract to sign, but it's probably a virus. Now, these anonymous emails are the easiest to spot, and they usually come from email addresses that don't match the service or domain from which they're supposedly sent. Now, there's a more complex version of that called spear phishing. Spear phishing is a targeted version of phishing. Instead of a general dear customer email sent to 1,000 people, spear phishing is aimed at one particular fish. The criminals, in this case, have done at least a minimum amount of research and have discovered the name that belongs to the email address. They may also know the person's actual physical address, phone numbers, work title, employer. It's pretty easy to find out most of that stuff with just a few simple searches on Google or Facebook or LinkedIn. Then the criminal can send an email that is personalized. The email may even look like it came from a friend or a colleague. Faking the from name adds a layer of legitimacy to the email. Now, people that get emails from their friends and colleagues every day are much more likely to open and follow the instructions if it came from that known entity. Think about the last time a friend sent you a picture to download via email. Did you call them to make sure they actually sent that message? Probably not, especially if they say something like, "You're going to die laughing when you see these pictures." Vishing and smishing are also terms you hear. They refer to phishing or spear phishing using voice or text, SMS messages. Maybe not as common as email, but it's still a problem. It takes almost no skill to spoof or fake a text message, by the way. There are even free apps that you can install that will do it for you as a joke. One of the biggest issues for companies these days is whaling. Whaling is spear phishing of a high roller. I think they should have called it kingfishing, but they didn't ask me. Not that I wouldn't even know who they are. Maybe I missed a meeting. Anyway, whales are people in positions of leadership of a company. Think CEO, CFO, financial director, HR director. These are the people in control of high-valued assets. The financial executives are obvious, but HR has control over employee financial statements and W-2 forms. Crooks love those because they can sell them for big bucks to the identity theft crowd. One of the biggest goals of whaling is wire fraud. It goes something like this. The CFO receives an email from the CEO with instructions for a wire transfer to a vendor. The CFO complies and the money is wired. The problem is the CEO didn't send that email. A thief sent it. It's easier than you think. The FBI even has a term for it. It's called Business Email Compromise, or BEC, and it's a $12 billion industry. That's right, B with a billion. We'll close out by throwing in a few other words that you might hear. Words like pretexting. That's when a scammer is just looking for information from you, like your social security number or your address. They may use it directly, or they may actually pass it on to be used in the next stage of their scams. Baiting. That's another one. Baiting is offering you something that's irresistible, but you're going to have to click on that link to get it. And the link will bring you to something you don't want to go to. Quid pro quo. Well, that's when you get something in return for your information. There's also some new ones, like laser phishing. That's when an AI bot does the work of the fisher, but they're not in common use yet. I hope you enjoyed this alphabet soup of the social engineering terms. Let me know in the comments if you have any terms that I didn't mention or any that you see in common use. Well, that's it. I'm Joe Malarkey, and this has been a Secure CRC Update.